All right, welcome back. We are officially going to dive into the good stuff. But before we do, I want to make sure that we're on the same page. Mindset. What the heck does it mean? My favorite definition goes like this: Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. Basically, it's your attitude, your beliefs, your self talk, your assumptions, your worldviews, and your opinions. It's everything that makes you tick. It's how we see the world. And based on that, it's how we see ourselves and our situations and our opportunities or challenges. So, do you see why this one thing is so important? I wanted to start here because it's the foundation for all of our other work. If you can't level up your mindset and really make a change, then the rest of the stuff that I have for you is just nice to know. It's interesting and you'll hopefully learn something, but without the right mindset, it'll land flat and get placed in the archives of your brain along with the other stuff that you are going to try to get to one day. Your mindset is what will ultimately allow you to take the action needed to make real change in your life. It's your motivator, and it's arguably the hardest thing that I'm going to teach you in this whole series because it is relentless. Mindset is something that you have to work on every single day, which can feel daunting. It takes work to change. But I know you're up for it, or you would have already shut down your screen and settled in with a bag of chips to zone out in front of the TV. Taking control of my mindset was a most difficult step for me because mindset isn't something that you can get away from. In the beginning, you're aware of it all the time, and it's mostly an awareness of what you need to change, which is exhausting. Over time, though, your brain starts to learn the habits that you teach it, and mindset is no different. Practice doesn't make perfect here, at least not in my experience, but I mean, hey, we're all human. Practice does, however, make mindset easier. When you learn to control your mindset, you get to choose how you approach and react to every single situation that you come across. And because you're in control and are able to make the best decision for yourself with each and every opportunity, there is no need to feel guilt. How freaking freeing is that? When you're confident that you're making the right choices and in control of your mindset, guilt has no power. And maybe this sounds too good to be true. Maybe you've tried hippy dippy positive self talk or affirmations before, but it just didn't work, or you just didn't stick with it. I know it's hard. It takes practice, but I promise you the end result is so worth it. You're going to get the clarity and calmness that you need to be able to chase your dreams and get shit done without the guilt. What are some of the old negative, limiting stories that you're telling yourself every day? The ones that become a self fulfilling prophecy for you. The ones where you beat yourself up when you see a living room full of toys or when you avoid looking in the mirror. Guilt comes on when you snuggle up on the couch to watch TV with an entire bag of potato chips. We're going to take these old stories and habits and flip them into something that serves you. Take the ideas that I share and adjust them for yourself. Figure out which ones are going to work best for you. You probably won't love all of them, and maybe some of them you won't even try or they won't fit into your lifestyle, but I do hope that you find a gem or two in here that you can add to your tool belt. My favorite and most used trick for mindset is what I call my attitude adjustment playlist. I have a playlist on Spotify with my favorite tunes, and I just pop it on shuffle anytime I'm feeling stressed or notice that Psycho Mom's coming to town. It's especially useful on those days where I wake up on the wrong side of the bed and nothing is right. No one is right, and I'm crabby no matter what. You know the mood. We've all been there. The best part of this quick tool is that within minutes, I'm singing or dancing along, and that's really the magic, that vocal expression, the yelling or singing and the movement, like jumping or dancing, that physically shifts you out of your current rotten mood and into a more positive and energetic state. Seriously. I hereby challenge you to make your own attitude adjustment playlist. Make sure that you're adding songs that pump you up and touch your soul and especially make you sing out loud. Put on as many songs as you want, but I'm willing to bet that you're only going to need 3 or 4 to get you back to being your best self. Next is gratitude. We've all heard of it and we kind of know what it is, but it doesn't really seem like a useful tool. Am I right? I mean, of course, we're thankful for everything we have. Do we really need to dwell on that? Actually, yeah, we do. We need to start looking for and appreciating the things that bring us joy and delight us throughout the day, because not only does looking for things to be grateful for put you in an open and gracious mindset, but you actually start to find more and more things to be grateful for as you practice this. It's like the more good you find, the more good that finds you. And keeping yourself in a state of looking for things to be grateful for will mean that you actually find them. That's just how the brain works. I know it's a bit woo-woo, right? But stay with me. Let's just take a small tangent for a minute here. I promise this will all tie back in. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of the room that you're sitting in right now. Picture it in your mind and search for things in that space that are the color brown. Just pick as many things as you can find in your mind's eye. Got them? Perfect. How many things did you see? I bet it was hard at first, but then as you started focusing on it, you were really able to stretch your imagination. I'd be willing to bet that after the first 3, 4, or 5 brown things that you started claiming things that were beige or tan or maybe even close to black as brown for the purpose of this activity. Things that were close enough to brown that when push came to shove and you were running out of brown things to count, your brain started stretching. The exact same thing happens with gratitude. Once you run out of the obvious things to be grateful for, your brain is going to start to identify things that you could be grateful for, but you typically aren't. Things like the song that came on the radio on your drive to work, or the fact that you got to drink your entire cup of coffee while it was still hot this morning, or that the shower felt extra hot and relaxing today on your tired muscles. Having a gratitude journal is great. I love the idea of reflecting and recording everything that you have to be thankful for. But honestly, if you're anything like me, and I suspect you are, you just don't have time for that. I struggled with this for a long time, between the knowledge that an attitude of gratitude could really benefit me and my mindset, and the lack of motivation to commit to actually doing it. And then I started acknowledging things that I was grateful for in real time, rather than waiting to the end of the day to recollect a list of things to be grateful for. When you can operate from a place of gratitude, it opens you up to seeing new opportunities and gives you the presence of mind that you need to work through your problems and the peace to sail through even the toughest days. Besides actively looking for and appreciating things in real time, another way that I practice gratitude is as I crawl into bed each night, I recall 3 things that happened to me that day between getting out of bed and getting back in that I'm grateful for. And I smile as I replay them in my mind. Try it. Try it for a week. I bet you'll find that your days are more delightful. Did the title of this slide make your skin crawl? I used to avoid asking for help for 2 reasons. The first is that I wanted to be able to do it all myself, which of course I couldn't. And the second reason was that I thought I was inconveniencing everyone else by asking, which again, of course, was not the case. Asking for help is mandatory. There's a reason why people say it takes a village. We only have so much time and energy. These are our most precious resources. So be stingy with your energy. Focus it on the things that move you closer to the life you want. A little later on, we're going to think of some areas that you could focus your energy on, but for now, let's create your personal list of shit that you hate to do, or things that you can delegate to someone else. When you do this the first time, just simply imagine that money is not an obstacle. And also imagine that no one is going to judge you for these decisions. Imagine that you have unlimited support. What things in your life do you simply want to let go of? To get you inspired, I can tell you that on my list was house cleaning, dog walking, cooking, and meal prep. Mindfulness. This is a buzzword that gets a bad rap. Basically, it means being present in the moment. It's not easy, and like gratitude, it's something that we need to sort of do in small chunks throughout the day if we're honestly going to fit it in. But what I found was that when I did make the effort to fit it into my life got better. We all know that living in the past is dumb. It's gone. And the future isn't here yet. So worrying or wishing for things that may or not be is a waste of your energy. So it only makes sense that focusing on the present moment is a smart thing to do. One super easy way that you can start to be mindful throughout the day is to set an alarm on your phone at a predetermined time throughout the day. The alarm will hopefully remind you to stop, take a breath, and just simply look around. And then you'll focus on what you see, hear, smell, touch, and even taste. Good, bad, or otherwise, your present environment is all you have. And if you can fully embrace where you're at, then you can work towards letting go of worries about the past or the future and really free up that mind space for your task at hand. Another great way to anchor yourself in the present moment is to stop and identify 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can hear, 3 things that you can feel, 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. It takes less than a minute, and it brings you clarity and presence, which you can use to make your moments even better. If you have the time here and there throughout the week, I highly recommend listening to a guided meditation. Personally, this is something that I've worked into my nighttime routine. There's some really great apps and podcasts available, so try a few out and see what you like best. It does not need to cost you anything but your time. And just start with 5 or 10 minutes. My personal favorite is a podcast called Meditation Minis because it gives you a quick meditation in 10 minutes or less. The host is a hypnotist, and also the background music is super calming. Some days it centers me, some days I fidget and I let my mind run free instead of focusing on the meditation at hand. But I'm always grateful that I took the time to do it. Because being mindful is a sneaky skill that builds up and strengthens without you even realizing it. And my final tip for gaining an unstoppable mindset is sleep. It's so simple and so overlooked. I'm here to bust open one of the most damaging myths going around about motherhood, that as working mamas, being exhausted is just part of the deal. It's bullshit, guys. Sleep is 100% my secret weapon. It's the number one thing that I do that sets me up for success in all of the roles that I have to play in a day. And it allows me to better control my mindset to stay calm and energized and deal with all the crap that gets thrown at me on the daily. I have a bedtime, 9:30. I take naps whenever I can, and I sometimes go to bed when my toddlers do if I know that I need a bit of a boost. Now, here's where I show off my mind reading skills. I bet you're thinking, but Jill, the time that you spend sleeping, you could have been doing something. You bet. But I've learned that taking the time to ensure that I'm rested means that I can be focused and intentional and energetic with the time that I have left. And I actually get more done in less time when I'm well rested. It's the literal antidote to burnout. I want you to ask yourself seriously how important sleep is to you. Give yourself a rating, 1 to 10. Do you prioritize it above all else? Or maybe you're an I'll sleep when I'm dead kind of gal. Everyone is different in how much they need, and I'm by no means a doctor, sleep expert, or otherwise qualified to give you medical advice. But I prioritize sleep like no one else, and I think that you should too. Making sure that you have enough sleep is going to give you the patience to interact with your family, and it's the absolute best form of self-care that exists. Just think about it. It's free. You don't need anything extra to do it, and there's no training involved. How are more people not doing this? Never mind about them, though. Now that you have the secret, you have the chance to level up your sleep game and see how big of an impact it makes.